Ivory Coast reached the knockouts for the first time in their history. Ecuador came back from goal down to beat Germany, and the Netherlands cruised in around 32. Groups D, E, and F are now officially done. Welcome back to Photo Review World Cup Daily, episode 25, day 15 of the World Cup done. My name is John and I'll be your host today. And today I am joined by none other than James Tolando. James, welcome back, my friend. How you doing?
Hello there, John. Hello, listeners and watchers. I'm good, thanks. Yourself?
I'm quite all right. I mean, the Dutch match was at 1 a.m. my time. The next Dutch match is at 3 a.m. my time. My Apple Watch just woke me up this morning, say, "Are you all right? Your heartbeat is all over the place." I think we need to. Skip a day of sleep or something. It's not healthy watching 6 matches in a row, not sleeping. I think, James. Also, it's 41 degrees out here. It's like the most extensive heat wave we've ever had. So everything's colliding. But besides that, I'm quite all right. Thanks.
Good.
It's those nights. It's not like you can't stay awake because the matches are very interesting, but it's a time in between. There's an hour between if a match finishes and the next one starts, right?
Yeah.
I think that's more of the issue where you're like, oh, Germany matches, and that's cool. That was a fun match, and then there's like nobody around you, and there's like 55 minutes to go, and then like, uh-oh, I can't fall asleep. What am I doing here?
Yeah, exactly. I know the feeling. Definitely.
But it's a good thing we keep the group chat going, James, because that gets me through it. And also thank you all for listening to the show and sending us the crazy amount of comments online and email and stuff, like Spotify comments, because that does keep us going. And I have ample time to respond to those then. So just send in all the questions there. James, yesterday we had 6 games again through Group D, E, and F. Just let's get through it. Like Ivory Coast make history. Ecuador shocked Germany. Netherlands were clinical, I think. Japan and Sweden both went through. And Turkey broke American hearts in 98 minutes. Let us get into this, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Then we start with Group E. Philadelphia, Curaçao versus Ivory Coast, because I got a soft spot for Curaçao.
Of course, being Dutch.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's try a 30-second recap. I think Nicolas Pépé scored twice as an Ivory Coast in the World Cup knockout stages for the first time in history. Their opener came already in the 6th minute. That was not only Ivory Coast's fastest ever World Cup goal, but also a big mistake from Curaçao. And James, what happened here is Curaçao needed a win. Of course, nobody expected them to win. But giving a goal away this early, that doesn't help, eh? You've seen it with Scotland on the day before.
Yeah, I was just about to say it was deja vu watching that. Yeah, definitely. Sadly.
It's so painful that not little mistakes, but you make these mistakes on this stage. And there's nobody to blame. I think Advocaat said after the match, Curaçao goes away from this tournament with the head held high. I think rightfully so. They didn't have the easiest group either. But Ivory Coast, not only are their kids absolutely brilliant, I think they played a really good game, didn't they?
Yeah, definitely. Without a shadow of a doubt. I thought they'd done well. I was surprised Bonnie didn't start for them. But because he had on and off season, I suppose, at Inter Milan. Didn't really do great the last game, so I suppose it wasn't a surprise. But Pepe stepped up and he got the double. So it was nice to see. He had a miserable time at Arsenal. So it's good to see that he's on the world stage at the moment and he's actually delivering.
Definitely. Pepe, of course, a tremendous game, like you said. I think Diomande, what a player that is, though.
Yeah, electric.
That's that's one player you stay awake for. Let's put it like this. Unfortunately, Ilo could not repeat his heroics from the Ecuador game, but a 2-0. Ivory Coast is through. Anything else you wanted to add on that match?
No, I think we've played everything up. Another massive W for an African side.
Definitely, yeah. And Pepe showed himself that 31 years old isn't too old. Well, everyone's showing this World Cup that if you're somewhere between 30 and 41 years old, you can still perform well at a World Cup, which sort of gives me a little bit of hope, James.
Yeah, definitely. Likewise.
Second match on the road, of course, was, let me not forget about this,
Ecuador and Germany.
Ecuador versus Germany. Yeah, that was in MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford. Ecuador 2-1 for Ecuador. James, shall I try another 30-second recap for this one?
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. Germany went ahead in the second minute already to Leroy Sané, assisted by Florian Wirtz. James, just in between. Was that a foul or not?
Yeah, definitely it was a foul, 100%. In my opinion, it was a foul. I understand the rules completely clear, but it was a foul in my opinion.
I agree with you, and I think most people agree with you. They held his leg so high, he hit his head. Sure, he didn't aim for his head, but you did hit someone's head, which I think is a foul. Period. Right. So anyway,
yeah,
Ecuador,
definitely.
who needed a win to advance, fought back though. Angulo bent an exquisite equalizer past Neuer from range in the 10th minute. So all equalized very early on. And then the game was tight for another hour before Gonzalo Plata stepped home from a Rodriguez header flick in the 77th minute to win it. And then we had some 10, 12 minutes or 15 minutes after that. I mean, it didn't matter. Germany already qualified. They did heavily rotate the squad. But does this defeat hurt Germany, James?
From a psychology perspective, yeah, definitely. I know they heavily rotated, but even if they rotate, I still feel they're very, very weak in the wide areas. Like Sané isn't really the player of Manchester City days. He plays in the Turkish league now. So I still feel they're quite weak wide. There's no disputing they've got loads of talent in midfield and a solid couple of defenders. And of course Neuer, the veteran, in goals. But I still feel it was a tough blow. I would certainly put my money on whoever Germany plays in the quarterfinals or the last 32. I would put them to lose, to be honest. They haven't really turned up, in my opinion.
No, the first match was an outlier with 7-1, and I thought they were going to be...
That was expected.
Top favourites. But second match was a bit of a letdown, and the third match was very much a letdown.
Yeah, exactly.
They do finish top of their group though with 6 points. Ivory Coast also 6 points and second. Ecuador 3 points, but true as well, I think, best third. Unfortunately, Curaçao out with 1 point. But strong group, 3 through. I'm rooting for Ivory Coast to get a little bit further though from this one.
Yeah, definitely. And everyone's dark horse, Ecuador as well. Good to see about the manager. The manager was the assistant manager to Argentina, the Chilean guy that was in charge, George. A shocking pronunciation skills. And then he moved to Chile. He was the assistant manager, I believe. And now he's a manager of Ecuador. So fair play, because Ecuador are very, very harsh for their managers throughout history. So that's good. They got them to the knockout stages.
Yeah, they're not as harsh as they are harsh at Tunisian managers, though.
Oh, that's true.
Talking about Tunisia, the third match was, of course, the Netherlands versus Tunisia. This match was bound to be postponed. But somehow, James, the stadium got cleared 3 hours in advance because of storms, lightning storms. Everyone expected it to be postponed. 45 minutes before the match started, FIFA said, well, it actually looks all right to start now. It started at 1, didn't get postponed, started lightning. The lightning started about 15 minutes after the match, I think. So, perfect timing.
Yeah, definitely.
3-1 in the advantage of the Netherlands. Netherlands stopped Group F with a 3-1 over and already eliminated Tunisia. Well, it just took 3 minutes for the chaos to begin. Dumfries drove the ball across goal and the Tunisian captain, Elisir Skiri, diverted it into his own net. That was unfortunate for him. And then, a couple of minutes later, and I think it's in the 7th minute already, Brobbey smashed in a rebound of a Van Dijk set-piece header 4 minutes later. So yeah, weirdly enough, that was it, James. We kept shooting. The Netherlands kept shooting. Didn't go in. They applied pressure. And after that water hydration break thingy, this match bled out a little bit until the halftime. Don't you think?
Yeah, totally agree, yeah.
Tunisia had no strength at all. Netherlands, I don't know, it felt like they were like, okay, this is enough, it's fine, just don't get injured, don't get any yellow cards. Netherlands were changed only on 2 spots though, or actually 1 spot. I think Van de Ven was subbed out in front of before Ake, because Van de Ven already had a yellow card in previous laps, and all the yellow cards will get, cancelled after the group phase now.
Yeah, that's true.
So that was a smart one. Ake actually played a really good match, I think. But Tunisia came back. Another corner kick that went in with a header. That felt a little bit off, James. I think Netherlands didn't give much away, but they score suddenly very easy. But also, they concede very easy with a defense this big and good and strong. It makes me a little bit anxious. What about you?
Yeah, if I was a Dutch supporter, John, I'd feel the exact same way. A fantastic flair in attack, but very, very leaky in defence. Correct me if I'm wrong, I might be wrong. Have you conceded every group stage so far? I can't remember the first result. Yeah, so 2-2 versus Japan. 5-1 versus Sweden. And now another 3-1, right? So yeah, and it's 9 goals is nice, but yeah, exactly. And it's a poor side that you conceded to last night. So hopefully you can
and 2 set pieces. Japan set pieces. This set piece could be focused, but it's weird. Like you have Virgil van Dijk, you got Van Ecke. And normally you have Van der Ven, but now you got Ake still Manchester City and Dumfries, which is going to be Real Madrid soon. You're not expecting to leak goals from set pieces, so it makes me nervous for the next match. But Van Ecke added the third one after the break to seal it 3-1. After that match bled dry. Could have been easily 4-1, 5-1, 6-1. The ball didn't go in anymore, but also everyone just wanted to get a goal in. It sort of felt. Mal had a really good match, but of course he can't get a goal in somehow, and he just kept trying. So they subbed him out. It was one of those obligational matches, so to speak, James. Yeah, especially if you're 2-0 up after 7 minutes, right?
Yeah, of course.
So Tunisia finished with 0 points from 3 games. Well, Netherlands did what they needed to do. Netherlands are on top of the group with 7 points from Brobbey scoring and the third goal now. Van Ecke actually goal gives him a good performance. What can we say about Tunisia, James? 0 points from 3 games. Of course, it is the worst record of the 2026 group stage. Yeah, all right.
Very poor, toothless, I would say. Bad showing. I feel for the fans, John.
Yeah, this was a bit much. But anyways, Netherlands will face Morocco in round 32 on Monday night, 3 a.m. my time. I don't know how to do that, James, but we'll figure that out. How do you see that going? Netherlands versus Morocco?
A very, very tight game, without a shadow of a doubt. It wouldn't surprise me if it's 0-0 at half-time. But I think the Dutch have got the firepower to qualify, in my opinion. But it'll be very, very tough. Morocco's a fantastic side. But, I don't need to tell you about the Dutch. They usually turn up in tournaments. So I would expect the Dutch to go through.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I think it's a 60-40 match in this situation. Netherlands just a little bit more chance, but that Morocco team is pretty good. Plus, they're playing in Mexico, so the heat's been turning on literally as well. It's going to be way different than playing in Dallas, of course, and in Texas. So I think that's going to be, well, we'll see. But I've got good hopes. I'm positive about the scoring power, like you said, the firepower, but I'm a little bit worried about if you see Hakimi play and Sabari play this week, you need to put something against that. So, I'll guess we'll see. But it's going to be one tough match. But then again, any match on the left side of this World Cup is tight, mate, because it was Morocco or Brazil for the Netherlands. And then it's either France or Germany. So, and then Norway in the mix there. Spain is in the mix there. So you don't want to be on the left side. I'm not saying Argentina get favored, but they don't have that much of that hard of a path from that side, James.
Yeah, I agree, John. Definitely.
Halfway through 6 games, and I know what that means. If you're halfway through a half, it means it's time for our official hydration break. So grab a drink, stretch, take a moment. We'll be back with 3 more games to go, including Turkey breaking America hearts in the 98th minute. But while you're up, if this show is getting you through the World Cup every single day, feel free to buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/foodinreview. Of course, go to Food in Review for the newsletter and much more. And follow us on Instagram at Food in Review and TikTok at Food in Review Podcast. And if you want to support the show full time, then go to patreon.com/foodinreview, where you get the show early, get more behind the scenes footage, and you can join our awesome Discord community. James, how was this hydration break for you?
You're taking a leaf out of FIFA's book for the ads. So well done, John. And I hope the listeners and the watchers are going to appreciate that humour. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I thought it was better just to push it halfway through. I mean, we do got to make money to keep this going, but might as well have a laugh while doing it, right?
Yeah, totally.
James, we're back with match 4, which was Japan versus Sweden. I could do 30 seconds of recap there, but both teams halfway through knew a 1-1 draw would be enough. It ended up 1-1. Is this a match that had two teams on the maximum focus and maximum performance mode, or was it like, you know what, it's okay? I just want to give a shout out to Suzuki because another awesome matching goal. This is all right now.
Yeah, they done what they needed to do. Full-time Malanga didn't think that was enough, right enough. You should have seen him at full-time, he didn't realise. But apart from that, yeah, the one each draw gets them both through. I have to say, John, a fantastic goal for Japan. And my man, Maeda, absolutely fantastic. He finished it off brilliantly. So yeah, it was just the bare minimum, really. We know what we need to do. We're going to do it. Not so much no bad as 1982, but it was similar without a doubt. So they both know they're going through, so it was just pretty much, you knew that throughout the whole game, really.
That means that I think Sweden will play France now?
I believe so, because they'll be third in the group, so Japan will be second to the Dutch, is that right?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so they'll play front, and Japan will face Brazil, while the Netherlands will face Morocco. People saying Japan facing Brazil might be the toughest possible draw. Do you reckon as well, or do you think it doesn't matter if you face Brazil or Morocco? I think both sides are good now.
Well, I feel when you go through the knockouts, it shouldn't really matter who you get, John. You know, you want to beat the best to go through. You want to go to the final. So, but also as well, we talked about a couple of weeks ago, you and I, about the businessman that predicted the last 3 World Cup winners. He said the Dutch would win, but he also interestingly said that Japan would beat Brazil in the last 32. So you never know.
Yeah, and that France will have an off day playing in the Netherlands. So we'll see.
We will see. Time will tell.
Definitely. We had also Turkey versus USA. USA were already placed and Turkey were already out. So that was a lot of, Pochettino made 10 changes, I think. The end result, though, 3-2 for Turkey. So Turkey came back from not scoring a single shot while having 61 shots on target or something in the last 2 matches to scoring 2 out of 2 right away. And they scored a very late win there. Of course, this match didn't matter at all. USA still tops the group and will face Bosnia-Herzegovina in the next one. It was, however, a pretty cool match, didn't it? Wasn't it?
Yeah, well, both teams didn't get the memo, John, that this game doesn't matter. Because, you know, when Trusty scored, he ran all the way to the touchline, absolutely passionate, celebrated with the fans. Then, of course, when Turkey get the winner, they went over to the touchline as well. So the game was full of passion, really, for a game that didn't matter.
Yeah, well, I think it matters for the 10 people that came in for the US, which was a smart move by Poch to trigger them to show themselves. And I think Turkey I said it yesterday, they needed to put up a fight because there's no way you can fly back to Turkey with 3 losses and no goal scores. Because I would take separate flights back home and maybe go undercover for a while else.
Yeah, definitely.
Kukçu, just highlight to that, all-final player, but we haven't seen him this World Cup at all yet, but what a player that is. Made it 2-1 as well. I think that was a good, and I think Pulisic coming back from an injury, pretty cool, right?
Yeah, definitely. He played the first 45 minutes for the first game, I believe, so it was good to see him back again. Captain America.
Definitely. So the USA faces Bosnia and Herzegovina in round of 32 on July the 1st. In Santa Clara, by the way. Do you think they have a chance versus Bosnia?
Yeah, definitely. One name, Balogun, so I think he'll fire them to success.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree with you. Another match, Australia versus Paraguay. Well, talk about tactical draws, James. 0-0, which suited Australia perfectly. This was a tough match to see, I think, as well. Also very late for us, but very technical. Jordan Boss, which is my favorite Australian player, and of course a final player and a standout player, he went to right fullback this time around. Also did well as full right back, so that was pretty cool to see. Do you think Paraguay now has enough points? Because they didn't look like a team that went for the win, did they?
Not really, no. They were very inconsistent as well, Paraguay. They lost to USA, they beat Turkey 1-0, they played most of the game with 10 men, John, and then of course they got this draw with Australia. So yeah, pretty poor.
Yeah, unfortunate. I think it's a cool team, but yeah, if it happens. Which brings us to our daily topic. Let me just get to that, by the way, to the group. Because the group itself, Group D, USA is on 6 points on top, Australia with 4 points in second. Congrats to Shaq and, of course, to all Australian listeners. Paraguay with 4 points in the third, but they have to wait. And, of course, Turkey, they did get 3 points now, but they were out already. So Paraguay is in the holding seat as it is with Scotland. But that's not good, looking good either, James, eh?
No, it's not at all. Regarding Scotland, I think if you're a mathematician, I think it's 5% chance we've got now. I really don't see Senegal losing or drawing to Iraq, John, to be brutally honest with you. So I think maybe our number's called, unfortunately, which is a huge disappointment to the fans, because we've certainly cemented our reputation as Scottish fans this tournament.
Yeah, it's a shame. I said it before. I mean, I hope they will go through the game versus Haiti sort of cup. But I think the mistakes in the last match just did your head in. Sorry, mate. I'll be hoping for you, though.
Yeah, don't worry, John. I'll be supporting my good friends now, the Dutch and Australia, and of course every single tournament I always back Portugal.
Yes.
So yeah, so I think that the Scotland camp will be changed to a Portugal hat next time.
Do you think Australia will do well in the knockouts?
It'll be very, very tough for the squad. I know they get through and they had a good couple of results. Turkey aren't really that great, so it'll be tough for them, John. Hopefully the young wonder kid they've got will turn up, but it'll be tough.
Yeah. Go Jordan Boss, though. Cheering for you guys.
We will be.
Brings us to our 3 recurring topics. Baller of the day, the drama of the day, and of course the bottler of the day. Let's start with the baller of the day. I think we can both agree that should be Nicolas Pépé from Ivory Coast, no?
Yeah, agreed.
So 31 years old, scored 2 goals, and once he was the most expensive African player in football history when Arsenal signed him for £80 million. But that move never quite worked out. But yesterday in Philadelphia, and all of that mattered, I think. Through to the next round, he showed himself. That second goal was very clinical as well. I think in combination with Diomande, I think Pepe just works wonders. So I'm looking forward to seeing them perform more. But definitely deserved the ball of the day, right, James?
Yeah, totally agree.
Perfect. The bottler, yeah, that was hard to choose. But I think Tunisia maybe?
Yeah, totally. Really, really toothless. Like I touched on earlier. Just feel for the fans, like I said. So yeah, definitely. They certainly bottled this tournament. And also, sacked their manager as well. Another manager didn't really do great either. So yeah, certainly bottlers for this one.
Everything that could go wrong did go wrong for them, though. Own goals. And it's very unfortunate.
Exactly.
They start for the Netherlands and they're still all hype up. And then the first cross, they just walk them in themselves. And I think if they didn't do it, probably would have scored that as well. But I thought 7 minutes in 2-0 up, this could end up like 7-0 something.
Yeah,
and to be fair,
John.
Without the hydration break, probably be 4-5 in halftime. But now the manager just closed everything up. But yeah, 3 games, 12 goals conceded, 0 points. Yeah, poor record. Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, do you think Renard will stay on, or will he leave himself now after 2 matches?
I really don't know. Like we touched on a couple of weeks ago in the podcast, I think it was you that mentioned it. It was a weird one that he was in the country and it all could go smoothly, So obviously that might be a backup plan. So you never know what's been agreed behind the scenes, John. Would you said maybe, we'll do this World Cup and we'll go through the next qualification campaign. So I don't know. It would be pretty strange for him just to take a role for 2 matches and then call it a day. But we'll see.
You don't know how much money they brought, though.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's
I do it for 2 million for 2 matches. I sign that. Don't worry.
I would as well.
Drama of the day. Turkey, of course, winning 3-2 in the 90 plus 8 minutes. The goal from Kaan Ayhan. Turkey were already eliminated. USA already won. The 10 changes. Nobody expected drama. But this game was tight at 2-2 in the 90 minutes. And everyone in the SoFi Stadium was preparing for a draw. But yeah, until the very last kick of the game, Arda Güler received the ball, nutmegged Pulisic, and played it to Uzun. The cross came in, and Ayan slid in the back post and stepped it home. The whole stadium went silent. I think if you go out in style, and that brings the drama, right?
Yeah, totally, definitely. A reward for everyone that stayed up for that one. Paraguay didn't really fill you with a lot of hope, so it was good that you had some drama for that late kick-off. So yeah, fair play. They ended the match like they won the World Cup. The celebrations with Turkey, but like you said, if you're going to go out, go out in style.
Yeah, well, it's a very passionate country when it goes to football in Turkey. Extremely, I know when Kokcu signed, for example, went to Turkey, right, to play in Turkey, people were waiting for him at the plane, and not 5 people, no, thousands of people were waiting at the airport for players. Mourinho has coached there as well, and he said there's nothing like the Turkey fans. But the national country usually actually very good at performing at tournaments, and this has been for one big letdown so far. So I'm quite happy for them to at least get one win in and show them that it was... And they were unlucky, right? So many chances, no finish. So they threw everything at it. It's too late, too little, too late. But it's the best way you could go out, I think.
Yeah, totally agree.
James, we don't have much time to look forward to the matches for tonight. But is there anything you want to highlight or you're extremely looking forward to?
Well, France and Norway for a start, that was very good. And also, don't know if the listeners or the watchers picked up on Haaland's interview after the last game, where he said pretty much Spain's going to beat us and they'll probably win the tournament. I like that. And also, it doesn't tell me, they're not going to try. He's just being realistic, but also as well, mind games as well. The France will think, we're brilliant, we'll beat them. And then, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Norway could sneak a draw or win, but I think it'll be a really, really good game.
Both are true already, right?
Yeah. So hopefully it'll be a repeat of America and Turkey. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope Mbappe and Haaland still scores the goals.
Yeah, or we see 2 teams highly substituting players. We see one team, France, subbing out much players. We could see either of those scenarios. I wish this game was earlier in the group stage.
Yeah, exactly, John. Yeah, what you're saying there is the other side of the coin for this match. So yeah, definitely get that.
It's a decent time to watch. It's 9 p.m. or my time, 8 p.m. your time, I think.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be able to properly check this out. Of course, we have Cabo Verde versus Saudi Arabia and Uruguay versus Spain. Uruguay needs to deliver as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm a big fan of kits. I think Uruguay has the best kit of the tournament. So for that reason alone, they should go through. And also, people are very much underestimating Uruguay, but they're 2 times World Cup winners. Just saying. It's not like
exactly.
A bad
and
history.
They won. They were the first team ever to win the World Cup as
exactly, yeah. And now we have Egypt versus Iran, which is going to be not a very interesting match, but it might be a very interesting match because it's also the Pride match in Seattle. And both countries don't really like that. And there's a lot of... FIFA wants to change it, but the local authority says we're not going to change it. So there might be a little bit of a situation around it. Yes. And to close things off, we have New Zealand versus Belgium. I think that should be a clear Belgium win. But the Belgians haven't performed so far, but they need a win, right?
Yeah, desperately need a win, John, without a doubt.
It's going to be interesting to see that tomorrow morning. Talk about tomorrow morning. I'll be back with Shaq really early, right after the Belgium match to record this and push this out. James, thank you so much for today. And of course, up for the next 6 matches. And see you tomorrow.